What's up guys, GGFOREX here, and on today's video I'm going to be going over what have I learned on my challenge so far, okay? If you hear some weird licking in the background, alright, it's my dog. I'm trying to tell him to stop. It sounds horrific. Just let me know in the comments if it's disturbing, okay? Hendrix, can you not? Goddamn. Thank you. Trying to make a video. Anyway, so I've learnt a lot during my challenge, okay? And what I've learnt the most was when I go to the higher time frames, to get an okay reward to risk, let's say 1 to 3, 1 to 4, it has to travel quite far, especially if I'm going off the hour time frame. This is just something that I've learned and I've picked up, and opportunities missed, and I'm just documenting it back to you. So what I've learned is if I'm doing like 20 plus pips on a candle for my stop loss, I'm gonna have to go 100 pips for a 1 to 5. Right, and I know you're saying we'll go for a less reward to risk, but at the end of the day I still need to try and make 10% using 0.5% risk in 30 days, right? So you have got that pressure. So what I feel like doing is I'm going to have to change how I like to trade, which is basically just set it, forget it, hold and die, which does work, okay? It does work, and it is the preferred method I would like to do. But when it comes to a challenge scenario where you have to have a certain percentage growth by a certain time whilst going by certain rules, okay? Like, it's a lot harder. Like, I've been in trades for like, on the NJ it was going so well. It was about this far away from TP. Again, sticking to my rules, not touching it, not interfering with it. And then price retraced back, which I'm thinking, yeah, is beautifully fine, because in the past I have taken profits early. Prices retraced because I got scared or whatever, let fear override me, and then it's just mitigated another candle and then come down and hit my original TP, right? So that was my frustration. So with NJ, I was just leaving it. But that is the right thing to do, and I still stick by that, and I will stick by that on a private account. But when it comes to funded accounts and doing the challenge, I just need to take the bag, okay? I need to just take the profit off the table, okay? So what I mean by this is I'm not gonna try and stay in, I don't really want to stay in trades that long at all. Hence why I kind of want to go down to the lower time frames. I'm still trading exactly the same way. I've tweaked it a little bit. I've added certain things in, but essentially I will be doing the same setups but just on the lower time frames. A bit riskier, but again, what I've noticed is between 50 pips, if my TP's over 50 pips away, 70 at a push, it's really hard to hit TP depending if there's any news or depending on what pair that is. So if you're trading Asian pairs, so New Zealand dollar, AUD and CAD pair, or CAD yen, or yen pairs, whatever, those pairs move really slowly and they move quickly in the times that I am not there. That's the scary thing, because anything can happen. Like last night, NJ, beautiful example. So I was in that trade for about 6 days, held it over the weekend. And while you're doing this, guys, you're obviously paying swap fees, spread fees, the lot, okay? So you are paying fees for keeping a trade Monday to Friday, and then you're paying higher fees for keeping the trade open over the weekend, right? So this is a situation. I'm holding a trade. I think I was triggering Monday, come Friday. It was kind of working down there. Whatever. Anyway, it's getting close to TP, didn't do it. Started to retrace back through the week. So Monday started to retrace back. Tuesday started to retrace back. Then started coming back down again about halfway back to where it kind of was before last week. Okay. And then the news of MJ happened last night, and it just blasted through, took me out. So I was in that trade, right, for 7 days essentially, and I gained nothing from it. Now, I know what you're saying, George, you can take partials, you can move to break even. I get that, right? But when you're on a challenge, when I'm taking partials and I'm only risking 0.5% only way, and if it's a like a 1 to 3 and you take half off and you're already risking half, you're really not making any gains at all. So you kind of have to leave the full position open to try and make a good growth without risking too much if it goes wrong, and try and making steady progress, right? So I'm finding that is the best thing to do, is by taking the trade to TP basically, or to stop loss, with 0.5% risk. So that gives me 20 swings at bat, but I'm trying to trade in a way that helps you get past. I don't really like trading this way without a challenge. If I didn't have a challenge, 1, I'll be putting 2% on. 2, I won't worry how long the trades take. I'm quite happy to hold a position, but I know that when you're doing a challenge, holding position makes you, 1, higher risk, and 2, stops you putting more positions on because you've already got a position open. So you've already got that risk, but it's just sitting there, not doing anything. And remember on the last challenge I did with EG, I was in that trade for 10 days. 10 days and I got 1.5% gain out of it, because it was only a 1 to 3, because I was going off a 4-hour time frame, right? So it moves super slow. And again, I know sometimes you can get lucky with TPs hitting really quickly on 4-hour time frames, or 1 daily time frames, whatever, but it's really hard to do that whilst with a challenge and you have a time scale against you. Okay, so what I've done to combat this is, 1, if it's near my TP, just take the money. Okay, don't wait. If it's like a pip, 5 pips away, I'm just going to manually close that trade, take the TP off. If I get a 4.9 or a 4.8% rather than 5% gain out of that, then I will happily do that. Okay, and then if it does retrace, then I'm going to look for another entry. But I've already secured a decent amount of profit. I've already got a 1 to 5 at, let's say, 0.5% risk, so I've got 2.5% in the bag. Then I can go back, look for another entry, maybe it's a re-entry, and just follow the order flow. So what I've learned from this challenge, I'm still in it, it's not going brilliant. People in the group know it's hard. Okay, I did a really nice trade today. I completely forgot about it. I put a screenshot somewhere. Damn, my memory's getting bad. I'm getting old. But yeah, so I've lost track, Hendrix. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go over the charts, and I've put support and resistance lines in. Now, I don't trade support and resistance lines. These are here for where price has reacted in the past. So I know where to keep my eyes peeled to see how price is reacting, because I've noticed on a couple of my trades that have taken forever to get down to a level which is not quite my TP. Again, I'm not shooting for the moon, but because you have big stop losses, you kind of have big TPs. And as I already said this, when you're risking 0.5%, a 1 to 2, a 0.5% risk isn't really going to help you grow fast enough to pass the challenge. If it's private, fine, do whatever, but not when you're in a challenge. Okay? So what I'm using is support and resistance lines is where price could react. If I see an accumulation schematic, say if I'm in a sell and I see an accumulation schematic forming on the place of like support and resistance, I am gonna probably take profits off the table. And if it carries on going down, I've already bagged profits. You can't go broke, you can't lose money by taking money off the table and keeping it, put it in your pocket. Again, this isn't really how I want to trade when I'm outside the challenge. This is just a way to pass the challenge, I believe, easier by just taking little and often along the way, if that makes sense. Little and often, yeah, it makes sense. Like if I see price reacting in an area where I think it's going to start a retracement, I would rather, if the reward to risk isn't there, I would rather just take that money, look for a re-entry, try and get a better RR trade on the next push down. Okay, because I don't really want to be holding trades for multiple days. Again, it's just going to incur fees, swap fees, all that sorts of stuff. So I'm just going to show the charts, show you what I mean on NJ, and then hopefully you guys learn from my experiences and maybe you can apply it into your own trading as well. Okay guys, so I hope you can see me in the corner, the camera doesn't fall over. As you can see, this is NJ, right? This is the trade I was in, this is the trade I shared with the group. It was all looking promising, wasn't it, right? So price let's say before this happened, right, it was coming down here, blah de blah, actually just script it over the cough. Right, so you see I went in on this 4-hour candle here, came down, retested it, came down beautifully. I was like, yes, finally I'm going to be out of this trade now, and it wasn't that long. So if I'm looking at it, okay, I was triggering 2 days in, right, 2 days in it was down here. Day 3, a little bit higher, day 4, still down here, day 5, still down here. So again, I incurred fees over that time, and if I bring my weekend on, so it was literally, I was in this trade for 4 days over the weekend, and then it started to retrace back, and I was like, oh okay, maybe it just wants to retrace back to this area for a retest, right? So I saw price reacting off of this. I was thinking, oh, maybe same TP, maybe another 1 to 4. That was what I was originally going for. I was feeling ballsy at the start with, because I was looking down here to maybe retest these areas, thinking it was a distribution, but again, news came out and it was just a reaccumulation instead. But if I go back to my 1 to 4, and the point to prove is that I was looking for price to go 119 pips. Like, that's quite a lot for this pair, and price did 110. So it's literally just 8 pips away from my TP, and I went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of agony. And then last night during the Asian session, massive red folder news came out and absolutely took me out. So this is where I thought, right, what I need to do really is just look for where price could react. Now, these yellow lines weren't on here before. These are what I've added by doing my support and resistance lines. Again, I do not trade support and resistance. These are just areas for me to look out for, because I know retail traders do trade them, so I wait for manipulation to happen at those levels. It's like an extra confluence for me, and also helps with my TPs, because if I want to be in and out of trades, I don't really want to be fighting the trend or going on a really slow pair, or again waiting for a week for price to go to TP like I did with EG on the last challenge. So let's say I knew about support and resistance, I would have gone to this next support area, because 1, we have an unmitigated bankers candle down here. 2, this area of support and resistance has already been violated by this candle, so we've made a lower high, broken structure down here on the lower time frames. This would be lower broker structure, came up, test, came down, broke this low again, mitigated this candle. So if I was to do that, it would only be a 2.8. So this is what I'm saying by going down to the lower time frames, right? 2.8%, I'll be up 1.4% on my 0.5% risk. So again, it's not bad, but if I do that little and often, right, that could help. But really, I kind of want to be going for at least a 1 to 3, maybe a 1 to 4 minimum, really, at 0.5% risk. So it's like 2% days if I just did that one trade today, because I know that I haven't got a high win rate. And if you're doing 1 to 2s, 1 to 1s, which is definitely don't do, 1 to 3s, you really need to have a high success rate. And as I'm at work, obviously I have a 9 to 5 job, I can't really be on the phone watching price action to get that high rate. I literally just have to look at my charts at night time, and whatever price is telling me at that time of where I think prices could reverse or where I think price is going to, I have to make that judgment at night, set the pending orders, go to work the next day, and just see what happens. Right, that is how I have to trade. I think a lot of people have to trade that way as well whilst doing the FTMO challenge. I feel like a lot of people who say they've passed either have working from home, or they're a student, or whatever reasons in their job that they can look at the charts a lot more. But if you're in a job where you really can't look at your phone, like I don't even have Wi-Fi until I'm on my lunch break because the Wi-Fi is cut. So it's very difficult for me to analyze the charts on a daily basis. I mean, on a like an hourly sort of like in 15-minute basis, and then have my phone out long enough for me to read what's going on, and for the charts to load on 4G because the 4G is terrible, and actually like make an educated decision based on what I can see and not my emotions. So I can't make an educated decision if I can't look at the charts. That makes sense? So I need to trust my analysis and let it play out. So for me to get high probability trades, I kind of need to take into effect that how much does the pair, how much has the price have to move to get to my TP. So again, now I'm thinking only 50 pips between that area. And then try and go for it that way, because I can't be having days where price gets near my TB point and then just reverses and takes me out, and I'm left with nothing, and I've been in a trade for multiple days. Now let me know in the comment box below if you've experienced that and are continuing to experience that. Maybe you need to try something like this where you're going to have to go down to lower time frames. Yes, it is riskier, but it's just one of the things you got to do if you want to pass a challenge. Again, if you're not and you're just trading personally, just take the swing. Just take the swing position and just let price play out. But you still have to take into effect that you still want to hit TP. Like if it takes 10 days, doesn't matter as long as you hit TP. But if it takes 10 days, gets near your TP, doesn't hit it, and then stops you out, whether you're in a private account or funded account, you're still going to be really bloody annoyed. That is what I've been experiencing, and what I'm going to have to do now is just start really finessing my entries, and just try and get that better reward to risk. So if I look in this area here, where could I have got in to get a better reward to risk? I have no idea. So let's just break this trade down now and just have a little nosy, and then both of us can learn together. Oh Jesus, come on. Right, what can I see? So yeah, it worked out perfectly. So price came up, mitigated these candles, came down, broke these lows. So I'm looking for sells in this area. Now I can see on my support and resistance line that price did come back and retest its area. Also what I can do is get the fibs out and see where my kill zone is, which is in blue. And as you can see, price did come back to my area perfectly, in fact. So if I wanted to be a bit ballsy, I could see there's a 15-minute candle going up here. A little bit of imbalance, so you'd have to cover the highs. But if I really wanted to do that, I could go off the 15 and cover those highs just by going off one, my kill zone with just my fibs, two, my support and resistance lines, and three, the last unmitigated bankers candle, which caused this move, okay, which is still in a premium sell position, right? This is a distribution. It's a bit ugly because it happened right at the weekend open, hence where you got this gap. Price came back up to fill that gap, to balance out the market, and then came back down, broke this structure, and then came back up, right? So what sort of reward to risk did that do to that trade? So it was a 1 to 2.8 on that 4-hour candle, and now it is a 1 to 5.5. So I would have got 1 to 5.5 with under 100 pips. It's 90 pip move. Again, if I wanted to do my 50 pips, I don't know what that would be. I don't really do pips. It would be to that first resistance. It would be a 1 to 3. So even at 50 pips, it was still a better reward to risk than going off that 4-hour candle. But again, as I knew, price has already come down in here, broke structure. The next area I think price wanted to test would be this second support and resistance area, but mostly because of that bullish breaker block up down here, which caused this price action anyway, which was the whole move. Because if you have a look, I bet it's in a super discounted area as well. yeah, came down right into my kill zone for the buy, if I was going to do a buy anyway. And then, sorry if I'm waffling on, or if you're getting a bit lost with this, this is what I could see, right? I could see accumulation happening on this support and resistance line within this candle. So there was confluences saying that price could reverse, but I was thinking maybe it's just a reversal to get another sell position on and then come back down, but I was wrong. Price came back up and took me out. But that's roughly about it, guys. So that is how I'm thinking about the markets at the moment, how I am thinking about just taking the money off the table and trying to get my tighter reward to risk. Again, I don't really want to be holding trades longer than a day or two. Really, I'll hold for 2 days if it's a good trade, but any longer than that, I don't really want to be doing that. And again, I'm going to be using my support and resistance lines as areas to keep an eye on to see what manipulation gets done in those areas. Again, I'm not trading support and resistance. I'm using it for manipulation and TP points, because I know retail traders will be using support and resistance as entries. I'll be using them as TPs. And also, support and resistance, the banks don't use support and resistance, okay? That doesn't work, but I know retail traders use it, and I know the banks know that retail traders use it, so I'm gonna be using it in the same way the banks do, which is what I should have been doing ages ago, but I don't know why I haven't done it. But there you go. Again, guys, I know this video is a bit all there, everywhere, but that's because I've been trying to get my thoughts out and hopefully explain to you where I am on my journey on my FTMO challenge so far. I'm down 5%, I think I'm down 5 roughly. Got 1 to 5 today, so yeah, maybe down 5%, but it's not over yet. It's not over. Okay, we're coming back fighting. I've still got like 2 weeks left of the challenge. No rules have been broken. Okay, and if I get a free retake, then that is a victory for me, because it's been a bad month, but I feel like a lot of knowledge has been learned through this challenge, and I'm just creeping up of what I know. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Love you all, and I'll see you on the next one.